All right, let's get right into it. We're going to tackle a huge question for any of you getting ready for college applications. Which SAT date should you pick?
So you're looking at your calendar, and you see these two dates, September 13th and October 4th. Believe me, this is way more than just picking a free Saturday. This is probably the first major strategic choice you're going to make this entire application season.
And look, we get it. It's stressful. But if you nail this decision, you can actually give yourself a serious competitive edge. So in this explainer, our whole goal is to help you cut through all that confusion and figure out the absolute best choice for you.
Okay, let's really break this down. We're calling this the high-stakes SAT decision because, honestly, it really does set the tone for your whole fall semester.
When it comes down to it, you're looking at a fundamental trade-off. You've got the September test, which is really all about using your summer to prep. Plus, you usually have more options for test centers. Then there's October. That gives you more study time once school starts, but it is the busiest test date of the year, and it's your absolute last chance for most early applications. These are two completely different game plans.
So let's kick things off with the first major thing to consider, Factor 1, which is all about your personal timeline and your study style.
The real question you got to ask yourself is, when do you actually do your best work? The big plus for September is that you can use the summer to just laser focus on prep without homework and classes getting in the way. But the advantage for October? You get a whole extra month, and sometimes your math or English classes can actually help reinforce what you're studying for the SAT.
So what does a real summer prep schedule for that September test even look like? Well, picture this. You start getting serious in June. You use July to really hammer away at your weak spots. Then, August is all about taking full-length practice tests to build up that stamina and confidence. So by the time September 13th rolls around, you are ready to go.
So let's spell it out with some clear pros and cons. The best thing about September is that your school workload is way lighter, less distraction. The big downside? You have to have the discipline to study when everyone else is on vacation. Now for October, yeah, your classes might help you prep. But the con is huge. The risk of burnout is real. I mean, trying to juggle a full class schedule, SAT prep, and all your other activities, it's a lot.
Okay, so that's your timeline. Now let's switch gears to something that's just as important. Factor 2, your application deadlines. This is where the decision gets really sharp. It's about choosing between having a safety net or taking your final shot. For anyone applying early decision or early action, that September test is your safety net. You get your score back with time to breathe. But the October test, that's it. That's the final, last-ditch opportunity for those early deadlines.
And the stakes here become crystal clear when you just look at the dates. If you're applying early action or early decision, with that typical November 1st deadline, the September SAT gives you options for a retake. But if you wait for October, your retake options are pretty much zero. Now, if you're applying regular decision, you've got a lot more breathing room either way.
This right here is the game changer. The huge retake advantage for September. Just think about this for a second. You take the test on September 13th. You get your scores back around the 26th. If you're not happy with them, you can still jump on the October 4th test and get those scores in from most November 1st deadlines. That is a massive strategic plus. Okay, on to our third and final factor, your readiness. This is all about you, your personal mindset, and the test itself.
First things first, let's just bust a common myth right now. You hear people wording that one test date might be easier than another. That's just not how it works. There's this process called equating. It's basically the College Board's way of leveling the playing field, adjusting scores for tiny differences in difficulty. So a 1300 in September is the same as a 1300 in October. The point is, the test is fair, no matter which day you take it.
And that fairness applies to the content of the test, too. The basic structure does not change. Whether you take it in September or October, the sections will have a pretty similar breakdown of question types. The test is predictable, which is a good thing. Your prep should be about mastering these concepts, not trying to outsmart the calendar.
But you know, readiness isn't just about what you know. It's also about your headspace. I absolutely love this quote from a student, Violet Lincecum. She said, "Stress leading up to the test can often feel more overwhelming than the exam itself." And isn't that the truth? Choosing the date that causes you the least amount of stress is a huge part of being truly ready.
So how do you actually know if you're ready? Here's a super simple gut check.
Take a full-length, timed practice test. Seriously. Look at your score. Are you already close to your goal? If so, September might be perfect for you. But if you look at your results and see some obvious weak spots that need work, then October gives you that precious extra month. You've got to be honest with yourself here.
Okay, so we've walked through your timeline, your deadlines, and your readiness. Now let's pull it all together and figure out how you're going to make your final choice.
Here it is, your 4-step action plan. It's pretty straightforward. Step 1, check your college application deadlines. Are you applying early or not? Step 2, be real about your summer. Can you actually commit to a serious prep schedule? Step 3, pull up your fall calendar. Is that October test date going to crash right into midterms or the peak of your sports season? And step 4, take a practice test. Get a real objective number that shows you where you stand right now.
So after all that, what's the final answer? Well, the secret is there isn't one best date. The best date is the one that strategically fits your timeline, your deadlines, and your readiness. This is all about you making a smart, personal choice that puts you in the best position to succeed.
And that brings us to the end. You've weighed the options, you've gone through the steps, and hopefully you have a date circled on your calendar. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. Now that you've picked your day, how are you going to make every single day between now and then actually count? That's it for this explainer.